Quantum Conversations, your portal to the inner realms. Access infinite possibilities, infinite mastery, and infinite love. Mind-expanding, heart-opening conversations with some of the greatest spiritual teachers, luminaries, and healers of today's world. Usher in new earth by living in your sacred heart. Quantum Conversations is brought to you by AcousticHealth.com, home of music from the universe, online healing retreats, and this program. Claim your free registration to daily shows at AcousticHealth.com. AcousticHealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. We are getting an energy checkup today, and our focus is on the heart and lungs. As we know on this program, our heart is a portal to our higher self and the quantum field. And my guest today has a beautiful clairvoyant ability to be able to see your energy system. She calls it intuitive mapping of body systems that may be deficient in energy flow, and she'll help to identify the main elements that cause the illness. And this is a beautiful time as we are joined here in a collective on our planet to learn really how to reclaim our power with our own energy. Let's welcome Amanda Hopkins to Quantum Conversations. Amanda, hello and welcome.
Hello, Loren. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I love the portal to the inner realm. It's so beautiful. That's exactly how I see the body. I really see our body as, this vessel that holds all these sacred portals and all these fascinating spaces that really allow us to open and awaken and illuminate ourselves with the light of our own soul and what that unique expression is. So I'm so excited to be here to go deeper into conversation with that, and specifically how it relates to our heart and lungs here today. So thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Ooh, thank you. This is beautiful. We are going to be doing some readings. You're going to offer some mini readings. So for those who are catching this podcast on whatever platform you are, there is a link to come to our webpage and view the phone number or join by webcall. That way you can share your voice with Amanda today. Amanda, you've also got a beautiful activation of light. We're really going to light up the sacred grids of the heart and lungs, and we're going to do this on a group level. I just want to say, you and I were chatting just a moment ago, and I want to bring everyone into our sacred circle and come to our centered place of calm and peace. This is the mastery that we know within ourselves. And I want to share what Amanda said just recently, and I think we're all identifying this and realizing this as well, that this is an opportunity to look within. And Amanda's going to help us do this today, but I think that when we have a tool and a facilitator that helps us look within, it only makes us flex that muscle stronger and stronger. Again, this is mastery. So, Amanda, before we get to the readings and the calls, let's talk a little bit about what's going on here and the work that you do in seeing this energy. So, we'll let you start with the circulation of energy in the body and where it gets blocked and why that could be detrimental.
Right. You know, when we're talking about flow in the body, you know, there are things that block it. There is obviously on the physical level, it's really easy to understand. With circulatory system, there can be things like clots, or we can have vessels that aren't, you know, working properly, somehow blocked up, maybe with plaque or something. In the lungs, we can have fluid filling in. There are so many different ways that we hold congestion and impair that flow at the physical level. And what I see as a clairvoyant is how that translates energetically. So I'm looking at energetic blockages that might be inhibiting flow through the vessels, or that might be causing energy to get kind of stuck or trapped in the lungs or in the heart, or slowed down, or create the heart to beat in a way that it's not beating together, and so the blood's not flowing out. You can imagine the energy not flowing fully through the body. So we're really looking at the energetic parallels to what's happening physically in the body. Now, when we have that congestion and we have the diminished circulation within the body, we really have to look at, you know, when we're looking at the human body, the two major primary indicators of life, you know, when you're checking to see how someone's doing, is you check for a heartbeat and you check for breath, right? That's the first thing in a medical setting, that the first two checks they'll do. And so these areas, the respiration, the circulation, really are indicators of life. And so when we start to bring that in and look at that in an energetic parallel, we're looking at how much of your soul is really coming into the body, how much energy, how much breath, universal breath, sacred breath are you moving in and through your being. And, you know, what we know physically is that the rate at which you breathe, you know, how quickly you breathe, or when you slow your breath down, whichever way that goes, that affects your heart rate. And the flow of oxygen through your body is directly dependent on that heart rate, because it's your blood that carries the oxygen to the cells of your body via the red blood cells. And so we're looking at the interconnectedness, and the sacred flow between the heart and the lungs is very important. And then from the heart to the body, right? All very, very important. And then returning back, the breath excretes a lot of toxins out of the body. So when we don't have that ideal flow and we start to get these symptoms, that's where you start to have things, you know, like your congestion in your lungs. It can make it difficult to take in a deep breath. It can make it difficult to do the daily things of life. It can make you feel tired because you're not getting that full flow of oxygen in and through the body. And there are so many symptoms that we see in the physical body associated with this diminished capacity to really breathe and circulate. You know, things like tingling in the extremities, cold hands and feet, swelling, memory loss. So our brain is very highly dependent on the amount of oxygen that comes in to retain that clarity and that capacity to make easy decisions. And so difficulty concentrating, memory loss, that's a direct reflection of the amount of oxygen and flow that we have coming into the brain. Digestive issues can be, you know, a symptom of this diminished capacity, muscle cramps, ulcers, throbbing and stinging. I mean, just so many different things at that physical level. And so, you know, when we start to see these different symptoms showing up, it's really time to go in and look. I mean, it could be other things that are going on, but we always want to take a look at our heart and lungs as part of that exploration to identify what's going on. And so as we're...
And you're going to...
So, you know, as we're really starting to feel into, we know that the flow of the breath, the flow of the blood has a physiological impact. Some of you might be going, well, I don't necessarily have those symptoms, right? And so it's still very, very important that we're addressing those underlying impairments to circulation, to vital respiration, and really being able to breathe deeply. You might not have physical symptoms, but there are things that can show up. Your emotional stability or your emotional moods can be reflective of that inability to have this vital flow harmonized within the body. So, I mean, it's natural for us to have emotions come in. We're going to have emotions come in and through. But when we are feeling as if we don't have choice or those emotions are taking our body over, that's something where we really need to start to look at what's going on with this flow in the heart and lungs. Where is that balance not occurring? Where is the desynchrony occurring and causing this kind of upheaval that's going on, which, can happen based on things that are happening in our outside world that we don't have control over at the time when we really see these emotional waves come in.
Mm-hmm. So then you're able to see those and you'll find that it's other things such as thought or belief systems.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly right. So what happens when somebody, is having these physical symptoms, or maybe you might be like, man, I'm having these emotional upheaval. Can you check and see what's going on? What I look for is I start to go in and I go, okay, here's the symptom that's showing up. Let me trace back and see where this is tracking in the body or the energy field. What's really going on here? And almost always there's a mental component. There's almost always some sort of belief structure that's in place that's holding this blocking this energy and holding this symptom in place. There's almost always an emotion that's associated with that. So I'm looking for these different pieces. I'm looking for the emotions that are held in the tissues of the body and where else they're in the body that they're related to what's showing up, because sometimes we have a physical symptom in one place, but the actual origin of that symptom might be located somewhere else in the body entirely. So I'm also looking at, are there other areas of the body where it's being impacted by this belief structure? What is that deeper belief? And then we even go deeper to go, okay, where did this start? What was the origin? Was it a past life event or trauma or belief structure that was embedded in a past life that's now carried through into this lifetime, and it's unconsciously driving behaviors and ways of being, and you don't even realize it? Or it could be generational. We could have adapted and picked up and taken on mom's or dad's beliefs, whether through what we've watched and observed and learned and how they interact in the environment, or whether it's through the genetic patterning through our DNA and what we've taken on as that genetic programming. And so these are all different pieces that we want to go deeper and look at so we can identify what is that deeper cause of the dysynchrony and the disharmony between the heart and lungs that's then also being reflected in the body as a physical symptom, or as the emotional upheaval, or even as things like not being able to have consistent receptivity to abundance and blessings and all the good that at some level is possible, but it's like you can't quite get your fingers on it, or you can't quite retain it. Like even if it comes through, maybe it goes away. There's a lot of patterns that are very common that show up at the energetic level that are tied into the heart and lungs. Things like being caught up in the sense of, I have to meet the expectations of others. If I don't meet those expectations, there's going to be repercussions, and I don't like those repercussions. So there's this kind of pressure to meet the expectations of others, even if you don't 100% know what those expectations are. Or it could be caught in this pattern of setting unreasonable expectations of yourself. And, both of those are kind of driven from this persistent, deeper need to prove your value or worth so that you can be accepted. And ultimately, that real desire is for love, right? It's like, if I prove my value and I prove my worth, then I will be worthy of love. I will feel like I can receive that love. And so that's where we're tying back into that sense of being able to receive the good. You know, the good isn't just money or physical things. It's the love, it's the joy, fulfillment, the beauty, the bliss, you know, all the beautiful things that come with being embodied. You know, there's other patterns like an overwhelming tendency to take responsibility for others. So, you know, this can seem like a really generous heart, and a lot of times that's the deeper intention. It's like, oh, I want to be supportive, I want to help. But it's like taking this responsibility as if that task or their outcomes are a reflection of you. And so it's like stepping in and taking over and doing something for someone else that really maybe they should be doing for themselves. That's another pattern that I see reflected as this kind of disharmonious heart-lung flow. And a lot of times in that case, what happens is that the person is really in a place where it's their time to really step up and open up their own inner empowerment. And if we go and step in, then they don't have a chance to kind of tap into that deeper energy of themselves. And so we have to be mindful. Sometimes, yes, we do want to step in and be supportive, but it's really about looking at where are you taking on that level of responsibility and how much of that responsibility are you taking on versus just being in a support of what is it for me to do in this situation. Again, that's an imbalance in the heart energy. You know, another big one that I've seen come in relation to these is this pervasive sense of feeling lonely and locked off from true connection with others. And I think this one is really timely right now, because feeling lonely is not a true reflection of who is around us. We could be in a room full of people, and I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, but you could be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone if you don't have that deeper heart connection. Simultaneously, you could be in a room by yourself and feel totally connected. You know, if your heart's open and you're attuned to the subtle vibrations of the grid that connects all of us. And that's part of what we'll be activating here today, really opening up to those subtle energies and sensations of that deep, true connection that we really, truly all hold. But again, when we're looking at these different patterns, these are all spaces where it really is an indicator that the heart energy is in some way blocked off, closed off. And usually that's a protection energy that's sitting in there. But as we go in and we really look to start to dissolve that need for protection and call in the energies that allow your body to feel strong, to feel centered, to feel confident within self, to feel like you have that deeper connection with source, that allows you to release that protection, that kind of false sense of protection that's been put into place. And this is what I see as structures that are sitting in the heart space. You know, I'll see different structures, different kind of shields or barbs, wires, all sorts of different things in the heart and the lungs. And so those we can start to dissolve and release as we get to these deeper energies and patterns and emotions and belief structures that have been holding them in place. And as we do, that's where we really deepen and open and foster that connection that allows the light to illuminate in those spaces.
Beautiful. Amanda, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do that activation. I am joining through this. I got bounced off the internet. The activation is already beginning. I'm joining by phone. So I think it's a beautiful time to do that. Thank you.
Yes, you know, that's what I was noticing is that the energy, I can see the energy of the group, and even there's a lot of collective energy kind of coming in here. And what I'm seeing is that And before we get into the activation, I want to invite everyone to really bring a focus into grounding in. And I'll walk us through doing that a little bit more. But what I'm seeing is the energy is up. It's really up, like even above the chest base. And there's an excitement, but there's also a fear of really letting this big energy in. Okay, and it's a big energy. And so I just want to really kind of, you know, speak to the conscious mind for a minute here and just really let you know this is safe. You can take in the amount of energy and light that you're ready, willing, and able to take in. This is not something that's going to be running through you without your permission. So really, you are in the driver's seat. Just really start to use the breath, connect in with the breath, and open up to whatever it is you're wanting to take in. So even just take a moment and kind of set an intention. We're going to be lighting up the heart grids and the grids in the lungs and really connecting you in with that deeper light that's wanting to come through. And so just take a moment, take a nice deep breath in, and just kind of bring to your awareness and intention, and also just let it kind of float and trust that the divine is infusing that intention and release any attachment to that. And so just starting to bring your attention to your breath, taking a nice deep breath in. Just imagine that that breath is moving from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And as that breath is passing through your body, notice a wave of relaxation moving through. That breath dissolving any heavy energies, gathering up any that don't want to dissolve, so that as you breathe out, you just imagine you're releasing all of those heavy energies, any tightness or tension related to those heavy energies out of your body with that exhale. Just noticing your body really start to open and relax more fully into this space, really ready to receive the light that's coming in. Continuing with the breath, each inhale that you take, allow it to move in and penetrate even more deeply into the cells of your body. Just imagining that each breath is purifying the cells, the spaces of your body more and more fully. With each breath out, you're releasing more and more of the dense energies from the deeper spaces of the body and your auric field. So as you continue with the breath, go ahead and bring your attention now to the space of your heart. Can you even imagine placing your hands over your heart? Really feel into the rhythm of your heart as it beats in your chest. Listen in closely, really listening for the sound of your heartbeat. Witness the reverberation of your heart rhythm from the center of the chest as it moves out into each and every cell of your body, so that all the cells of your body are now moving in beautiful unison with one another. And that way, as you align your heartbeat now with the pulse of the universe, every single cell of your body opens to receive the support that the universe is flowing in specifically for you. Witnessing that flowing in the form of a nourishing, replenishing golden light that's infusing the cells of your body, delivering whatever you might need right now. Bringing your attention to the space of your heart once again. Imagine that you're moving fully inside your heart now. Moving into your heart, noticing what you witness here in this space. Just being an observation, perceiving whatever energies, whatever light, whatever awakening is available for you here. And as you're in this space, notice that there's a small, round, white light shimmering in your heart right in front of you. This light starts to expand out as vertical and horizontal light beams emerge that are rose gold in color. Imagine stepping right into the center of these radiant light beams that are expanding out from your heart, now moving through your entire body, activating love light within every single cell, space, and fiber of your being. Noticing these beams of light connecting in with the sacred light of Mother Earth as well, delivering that love light vibration to the earth energies, the earth grid. Witness as these rose gold love light beams expand out even further beyond your body, moving out further and further, connecting with the sacred light grids that are the hearts of the universe. As these radiant light beams are moving further out, you observe that there are little flashes of light that are igniting along the way. These represent the awakening and connecting of sacred hearts of all the living beings on the planet and beyond. All of these beautiful soul light expressions coming forth and amplifying the sacred light flow through these beings, so that each and every one of us is now receiving and flowing more and more sublime heart-supported light. As these love light beams continue to strengthen and draw in elevated vibrations of divine consciousness, you now move your attention to your lungs. Imagine going into your lungs, moving fully into the space of your lungs now, observing and noticing what you're witnessing in this space. Pay attention to any places of restriction where you may not be able to draw in a full breath, or any pockets of congestion here in this space. Notice as a radiant diamond light whirling energy awakens in front of you, magnetizing all congested, pulling, or constricted energies to it for instant transmutation. Anything that's restricting the lungs being drawn into this whirling diamond light now. This radiant energy starts to transform now, as vertical and horizontal beams of diamond and white light extend from your lungs, moving out through your entire body. As they do, they transmit and infuse every single cell, tissue, space, and fiber of your body and being with strengthening and purifying energy that mirrors the power and cleansing properties of your amazing breath. Witness as these diamond white empowering light beams expand out beyond your body, moving out further and further out, connecting with the universal light grids that are the breath and life force of our very existence. As these dynamic, effulgent light beams are moving further out, you observe that there are sparks of light igniting along the way. These represent the deepening flow of universal breath and abundance, revitalizing and energizing all the living beings on the planet and beyond. As each and every one of us fills up with this sacred breath, every single being relaxes in trust and higher knowing. So witness as this opening allows your unique, sacred soul light presence to fill up your entire body, filling it up until you're vibrating with the fullness of this deep soul self connection. From this space of deep soul connection, sublime heart flow, bring your attention to your body once again, and notice all of the new sensations and vibrations creating expansion and freedom within you As you notice and have that experience of that continued deeper inner connection with the sacred energies of the universe and all living beings and beyond. Go ahead and bring your awareness now fully up from your body into this presence once more, present moment, really present here. Fully alert and present in this moment now. Really feeling the power and the potency of all these vibrations in your body, the grids remaining active and open within you. Just go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready, really wiggling your fingers and your toes, stretching out your arms and your legs as you're anchoring the expansive energies that have awakened within you into your physical body, really allowing them to flow all the way through, all the way into your energetic foundation, strengthening and supporting you here in this space right now. A lot more groundedness now.
Oh, thank you so much. We are lit up. We are expanded and feeling that golden soul essence. How beautiful. What a beautiful activation for today where we are on our planet. This is empowering. Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, my pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure to now go to some questions. Let's do that. So we've got some on the question box, and you can answer those. For those who wish to share their voice with Amanda, that's always a richer experience. So we invite you to join us by web call or phone, and you'll see that here on our webpage at acoustichealth.com. We're going to go to Hilo, Hawaii. Hello, caller, area code 808.
Hi. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
It's Amber Rose.
Tell us your name.
How are you?
Oh, hi, Amber.
Hi,
Amber Rose.
I wasn't sure if you were doing an after show, and I couldn't miss the opportunity to talk to Amanda.
Awesome.
First, I'd love to say that activation was so beautiful. My heart's still expanding. I was a smoker before I really stepped into energy work and healing myself a few years ago, and during that, I felt my lungs expand and heal in much deeper areas, and that was really powerful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
My question is, even though I am a healer myself, and with everything that's been happening, some things pretty deeply have been coming up for me. I recently found a lump in my left breast, and I was just wondering if you could tune in and maybe give me a little bit more clarity or awareness around it.
Okay, so let's just check in and see. The word that came in right away was pressure. And so, since we're focusing on heart and lungs, what I want to look at is what can you open up in that space, in the breast or in that whole chest area, so that whole, all the dynamics playing out there are going to have an impact. What I see with that pressure is that there's this sense of having to perform or be a certain way or do a certain thing that has your body in this constriction. It's almost as if your neck is kind of being pressed to the left and then your upper body's being pressed to the right. And so it's really being almost disjointed is what the energy flow looks like. So it's not allowing the full flow of breath and that freedom to come into the breast as well. And so what you want to start to work with unraveling is that pattern of pressure and feeling like you have to be something other than just your amazing, beautiful, unique, magnificent light, right? So any of that kind of pressure in the mind space to be a certain way, do a certain thing, look a certain way, that's that pressure that we want to have you release. The origin of that pattern for you, I just want to check in and see here, is past life. 37 past lives ago. So you're going to want to do some clearing on the timeline as well there around the energy I'm seeing there is really how you're presenting yourself out in the world. That's what the significant importance is, and there's a real seriousness about that. And the energy is really this anxiety that's sitting in that space around what will happen if I don't present myself in this certain way. There's a sense of punishment. So that's what you want to unravel and release. That's going to open up flow and really allow you to start to have that greater capacity to have the freedom in your whole entire chest space and to bring whatever you might need to the physical body for what's going on in those areas. Okay?
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a stepmom, a mom, stepping into marriage, a lot of healing. So it's on the left side. So I feel like I'm leaning towards more the masculine and not really leaning in my nurturing feminine and all those pressures. So I could feel it kind of unraveling as you were talking. Thank you.
Good. Beautiful. You're welcome.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you so much, Amber Rose. Thank you. Okay. Very cool. Then let's go to our next caller. And I do just want to share, Amanda, that there are wonderful comments coming in. Thank you so much for that beautiful meditation. Really very heart-centered and very balanced from that. So sharing those beautiful comments.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Let's go to La Crescenta, California, area code 818. You are unmuted. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Share us. Tell us your name, please.
Judy. Thank you for taking
Hi,
my
Judy.
call.
You're welcome.
That was a wonderful meditation, really heart-centered. Thank you.
Beautiful. You're welcome.
So I wanted to know what's my block for my heart and lungs. To be optimistic.
So I'm going to read the percentage of dysynchrony for you. So let's start with that. 12% is the number that I'm getting. And so the impact that I'm seeing that having on your body is it's almost as if there's a wall that's sitting kind of in the space of the chest. And it's as if they're trying to have a conversation through the wall and talk through the wall. You know, like if you're trying to have a conversation through the wall with someone, it's going to be muffled and confusing. So that's the energy that I'm seeing as a combination of confusion and frustration between the heart and the lungs. There's still a flow going between the two, but it's like really a lot harder than what it could be. There's not a lot of ease with it. So the deeper pattern that I'm seeing, and this is linking down to there's a ball kind of like energy that's sitting behind the power center, the solar plexus, the back solar plexus area as well, just behind the navel there, of that frustration and confusion, but also there's some energy of anger there. And what it looks like is this pattern of this belief of I have to work really, really hard. And even that's not necessarily going to get me what I want. You know, I just have to kind of settle for what comes in. This is a past life. It looks like a famine of some sort was happening. I'm seeing 11 past lives ago, and it looks like some sort of famine or something where there were limited resources, and it was like grinding all day long to try to come up with something for the whole group. And everybody was pitching in, but it was just like a lot for everybody. So there's a heaviness, not just for yourself with that, but also your community and the people that you care about, and this sense of wanting to hold them up and do the things for them. So there's a lot of heavy energy sitting with this. So you want to do that work for that energy in the past life. You also want to do the clearing of the frustration and the confusion in the chest space and in that navel area as well. And that'll help open up to that greater light.
Can you see the past life that came from?
Yeah, I think I just said, did I say 11? Past
okay,
life?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Amanda, you have programs that help people clear the past lives and go deeper in this, and we're going to talk more about that too. So you're taking mini readings right now, and the question for Amanda is, what percentage of my heart and lungs desynchronized, and what's the primary impact that's having on my body? So if you're on the web call, you can raise your hand. If you're on the phone, *2 will also allow you to raise your hand. Okay, let's go to another caller. This one is in San Francisco, area code 650. Hi, caller. What's your name, please?
Hi, it's Kathy, and I totally forgot the question.
Okay, well, I can help you with that. All right.
I'm not at my computer. I'm sorry, I just called in because I have you on my phone. But it's what percentage is blocked for my heart and my lungs?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I can do your reading from there. Thank you, Kathy. So let's just check in and see. The percentage I'm getting for you is 22%. The impact on your body, let's just see what's going on here. There's an energy in the right shoulder. It's almost like a slicing energy that's coming in as far down as the chest and even expanding, like if you imagine a diagonal down from the right shoulder to the left kind of waistline.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a slicing energy through, but it's not a clean cut. It's almost like a jagged energy that's moving in and through. And what I'm hearing is breach of trust. And with the breach of trust, there's, it's kind of creating pockets of doubt. So it's not that there's necessarily a full flow of doubt that's really drawing or taking you out per se, but it's like just a little questioning or these little hints of doubt that maybe come in and cause pause or hesitation is how I see it showing up. And so with that slicing energy and that pattern of doubt, I want to see where the origin of that. I actually hear that it's past life for you, but I also see it on the maternal timeline. And that's not uncommon to have it show up multiple places when we have a pattern like this. So, just even allowing the energy to start to release. The past life is where you're going to want to do the deeper work, and that's going to help release the energy from your body and even support that generational release as well. The past life that I see is 3 past lives ago, and what I keep hearing is betrayal. There was some sort of betrayal where it felt like there was that trust was broken, gone, and the deeper implication, though, is that it caused you to question yourself and like, why didn't I see this coming? And that's the bigger energy that I'm seeing you want to work with shifting and releasing, is where you're blaming yourself for things that other people are doing or taking blame where maybe you shouldn't be. So I don't know, is that something that you find yourself doing at times in this lifetime?
Oh, yes, I have. And the fact that you said my right shoulder, it's oh my God, for over like 35 years, it comes and goes and mostly stays. And like now it's been so bad, and the trust, yes, especially on the maternal side too. I'm like, oh my God, okay. You were like, yeah. And I just try to work to get rid of it, and it's terrible. It's like a rock in my shoulder, and it's terrible. So when you said that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it shows me, the energy shows me where the pieces are and what's related to it. So, really,
well, I have a feeling, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had a feeling that it was related to some, emotional thing, the shoulder thing.
Yeah, the physical body always is giving us messages of what's happening at the deeper level. What is the energy that's coming through? I mean, it can be joyful and blissful. Our body can be feeling free and open, or there can be subtle things that our body's leading us to, but our body is always guiding us at the subtle level to what's happening at a deeper energetic level. And so when we can start to discern and decipher what the smaller nuances of our bodies are, it really makes it excellent indicator of, okay, how can I address the emotional or the mental or the soul level energies that are wanting to shift and transform within me. And then the physical symptoms don't have to get so deeply embedded, but at the same, or we can release those physical symptoms. Sometimes when we have something that's so chronic, like you said, 35 years, we don't even realize just how much it's impacting the flow in the body. And when it's released, it's like, whoa, now I have all this energy moving through my body. I had no idea this was possible.
And so you can work to clear, now it would have to be cleared from the past life that you do that?
Yes. I would definitely recommend something like that. I would recommend doing the deeper session so we can make sure all the pieces are clear, clean, that there's nothing left hanging out in the field.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you,
You're
Lorraine.
welcome.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. Well, let's talk a little bit about that, Amanda. You've got programs that people can work with. We're seeing a beautiful example of how you go deep with people and identify those issues. So how can people work with this program? You've got a couple of options here. Mm-hmm. One is a master class, and then you've got a personal session with even a bunch more work. So share with us, please, and how people can work with it.
Right. So there's a couple different options, and I made the master class available as a standalone because, I just introduced this recently, and it was so powerful. And one of the things I do that I haven't talked about just yet is I work with symbols. So I see symbols that come spinning in from your higher consciousness, from the higher realms. They'll come in for you and settle in and work with your fields. And the beautiful thing about these symbols is that they connect in with you and the intelligence of your body, but also retain that connection to the higher realms and the higher consciousness of self. So when we work with these symbols, what I want you to think about is that now you have this beautiful energy that's in your body field that's really calling forth the higher energies, working with your higher self to call in whatever you're needing for that next level of expansion in that space of the body. Whatever that might be, whether it's an energetic expansion, whether it's a physical release, whatever that is, it's really the higher realms energy working with the innate intelligence of your body. Our bodies are so brilliant. There's so much consciousness that we don't even realize is there working and supporting us. And so it's a beautiful way to bring ease to this process of release, where it's not having to go, okay, what are all the different pieces that I have playing out, and I have to go identify all of them. That can really feel daunting and exhausting. So this is a way to help facilitate that and bring ease to that process, where it's calling in the light energies and really allowing those to help dissolve. Even as we were activating the grids, you might have noticed that there's a lot dissolving in the space, even though we weren't focused on clearing per se. So with the workshop, what we're really working on is the symphony of the heart and lungs, that harmonious flow of energy between the heart and the lung space. And so there's a lot of stuff that we're going to do in that workshop. We are going to be, really looking at what is it that impairs the ability of the heart and the lungs to be in that synchrony, for the heart and the breath to be in that harmonious flow. We're going to be doing some exercises to shift and release that. We're going to bring attention to why it's so important to have that synchronicity and what that can do for you. And then from there, we're going to call in a sacred harmonious symbol. And so this is a group symbol, it's the same symbol for everyone, but it's going to interact and engage with your fields in a way that's really supportive and unique for you and what you need and what you're wanting to address in terms of that synchrony and that harmony internally within you. And so this is done as a live call. We'll all come together in a group energy, and right when you sign up, I already have ways for you to start working with and priming your energy, so that by the time we get to this master class where we're going to be calling in the sacred harmonious symbol, that you're really ready to receive it and go really deep with what it's wanting to do for you. And it's a real intimate experience. This is really about awakening and enlivening and opening up to that flow of light in your body and being. So that's one option. You can do the master class and get that symbol. And then the other option that is available is, with this other option, you get the workshop as well. But we're going to be doing a private one-on-one session. And so with this session, we have preparation for that as well. So we're going to come together on an intention and preparation call, and I'm going to talk about how you can prepare and be ready for the deeper one-on-one work. You're going to fill out an intake form to help you get clarity on the different things that might be showing up. Maybe some things related to the heart and the lungs that you didn't even realize were related to that are showing up in your world and your life, whether it's physical, energetic, different patterns and themes that are playing out in your different areas of life. You're going to get some clarity there and really help to start to open you up to that greater flow of light. We're going to come together for 2 live intuitive reading calls. And with those live intuitive reading calls, we're going to be focusing one on the heart and the circulation, one on the lungs and the respiration. And what we'll do is we'll come together. I'll do a personal reading. If you sign up, you get a reading. You sign up, you put the request in, you get your reading. And then after we do the readings for the group, and we start to bring up all that different energy that's showing up in the body and the fields, then we'll go through and you'll do a clearing journey right there on the call. So we'll help to start to dissolve all the dynamics that have shown up through the reading and really open the body, the heart, the lungs up to the light energies that are wanting to come in right on those calls. And again, this is all in preparation for that private one-on-one work. You'll get a downloadable guided journey, the dissolving congestion and enhancing circulation journey that you'll use before the session to do some more clearing and priming of your body before the session. In fact, you'll get that before the master class because we'll have you use that in preparation for the master class. And then we're going to do the session. In the session, this one is just so amazing. I'll be going in, I'll be checking in to see what's going on with the heart and lungs, making sure that ideal synchrony is flowing in there, checking in to see how the flow through your spine is even. We'll be doing some deeper work in those areas, but this is where we really get to call in your own personal symbol. This is your personal symbol to really support you holding that synchrony in the heart and lungs, opening the heart, keeping it open to your higher self-consciousness, to all the good that you're wanting to call in and flow through your body. Really supporting the lungs being open, drawing in that sacred breath of life and really connecting you in with that nourishing flow of the universe that's wanting to come in. I always think of the breath as nourishing. That oxygen nourishes the cells of our body. This symbol is really working with the heart and lungs to help support you being open, being able to settle into the heart, to relax the body, to be really present within yourself to all of that deeper magnificence and beauty and light that's coming through for you as your soul expression in your body. It's just so absolutely gorgeous and amazing what comes through in these sessions. It's just always stunning to me, and I witness these, but it's always amazing. And it's very personalized. It's really what it is that you're wanting and needing, and usually there's a special meaning that comes in surrounding these symbols. And so that's what we'll be doing in that private one-on-one session. And that, again, that symbol remains in place. It keeps you connected in with the higher energies. It works dynamically with your being and your body over time so that it's always available for you. And then after the session, of course, to help really continue to strengthen your body container to hold and run these heightened vibrations of light, we have a heart-lung harmonizer and stabilizer guided journey that you can use to really help continuing to deepen the opening in your body, because we're always expanding, we're always growing and transforming. So we always want to be checking in with our bodies, just like we eat each day most of the times, unless we're fasting. We drink water, we breathe every day. Of course, we never stop breathing, right? But we do these things consistently. So in the same way, we really want to be tapping into and connecting in with the body and checking on the heart and lungs. So this heart-lung harmonizer and stabilizer is a great way to keep that connection in and keep, tuning into and supporting those areas of the body. And so that's all included with the second option. And again, with that session option, you also get the master class.
Yes, there's a lot of really great things in this, so I want to thank you for that. Of course, that special offer, you can find the link right here on this webpage, or you can access it on whatever platform you're viewing today's program on or joining us by. Thank you so much for that, Amanda. Again, those private one-on-one sessions really allow you to go deep within. What a beautiful revival and renewal session. Okay, let's go back to some callers. Again, if you're on the phone or web call, you can raise your hand. Star 2 will allow you to raise your hand. We have a call from Detroit, Michigan, a wireless caller, area code 313. You are unmuted. Hello.
This is David.
Hi, David. So,
how are you today?
Great. Do you want to know the percentage of the heart-lung desynchrony?
Yes.
Okay, David. So checking in for you. I'm getting 31%, and what came in right away is doing things I have to do, but I don't want to do. Is the pattern, the deeper pattern. I'm seeing this running actually in the back head space. I mean, I know we're looking at heart and lungs, but this is what's creating, there's like a compression it's creating. It's like it's kind of closing you into, this is what I have to do. Now, I don't know if it feels like that for you or not, but what that can create is that there's a perception of, here's my bubble, here's my world, and this is the world I live in. And the mind might not even be aware of things outside that are a possibility for you that would really be a good resonant fit for you. So when we look at the origin of that pattern for you 5 past lives ago, I just see like a really rigid school setting there where it's like you're being told exactly what to do, when to do it, and there's like a switch. So if you're not listening, you get the switch to the hand kind of thing. So there's actually a physical punishment that's associated with not doing the things that are kind of laid out in front or told that I have to do. So that's the energy of that timeline that needs to be released. And then that will relieve the pressure from the back of the head, which will then relieve the compression from the lungs. There's a lot of frustration and sadness combined sitting in that back head space. Are you finding yourself caught up in a paradigm where you're having to do things a lot of things that you don't want to do, or do you feel like you're pretty open and flowing?
Well, kind of both. Interesting, well, to speak directly to the heart-lung thing, I've quit drinking, I quit smoking cigarettes, but I still do use cannabis, and so that was probably has an effect on my lungs. I've been doing a lot of physical work, which has been really difficult when I'm like almost 57 years old, and so that resistance is there, and I need to find a paradigm shift and doing such physical work as opposed to doing something else, for sure.
Yeah. So as you release that pattern of having to do the things you don't want to do, that's going to open up to, okay, what's another possibility where I can still be richly rewarded, but maybe I'm actually even living more into my gifts, my special gifts.
Right.
It looks like there's energy that's wanting to awaken through that heart space. But that compression that I was seeing in the chest space is almost like this ball that's sitting in there kind of around your heart and lungs as if holding it in a container. It does look like it's a little bit for protection, but it's also holding in the desires of the heart that could kind of radiate out and draw in people and resources and other things that might allow you to move forward with what your heart's really calling for more so than just kind of having your needs met, that distinction there.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
That's what's coming through for you.
Are there any suggestions that I should readings from that side? What can I best do to release this? 5 generations back?
5 lifetimes. It's past life. So that's
past life.
Yeah, clearing on the timeline, clearing from that back headspace of all the energy that's sitting in there, the frustration and the sadness in that heart and lung space around feeling like I have to do. There's like a resignation of I have to do what I have to do. And there's, you know, the options outside that being moved. So clearing the frustration and sadness is the way to start to move that energy out. Awesome.
Okay, thank you. I'll let you talk to other people. Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Well, all right, here's a question from our chat line, and Scotty in Castle Rock says, I serve a lot of people and my body keeps experiencing this mental fogginess. I look down and look up and lose my breath and get fainty. I need my high vibe back, he says. All right, can you help Scotty?
Yes, right away what I see, Scotty, is your energy's not in your body. It's hanging out above and behind you. And so what happens is your energy will come into body, you'll be going doing your thing, and then as soon as something happens, it could be just a slight nuance, like a slight noise in the environment, or just something that kind of takes you out of what you were doing. It's as if your energy shoots out. It's associated with the fear of being fully embodied, fully in the body. Being in the body is not safe. That idea. It's from past life, 9 past lives ago, and you know, it looks like there might have been some kind of war or something going on, but what I'm hearing is that the past life energy focus isn't so much important as it is just like letting go of anything that's not relevant right now. All the old fears, just a lot of fear releasing from that chest space. Because what's happening is as that energy pulls back, it's like that heart energy pulls back too. And so the whole chest space kind of closes in, the shoulders close in. It's almost like that distraction from the environment creates a fear response in the body where everything kind of curls forward and the body kicks into that fight, flight, freeze mechanism, fight, flight, freeze response, right? And the nervous system kicks in with that anxiety. So, you know, really working with releasing that fear that triggers that anxiety response.
Okay. All right, Scotty, we hope that helps you. Now, Carol in South Africa. Hello, Carol. She says, Amanda, I also have a sensation in my left breast. I would love to hear what you see for me with relationship to this. Thank you.
Okay. I'm seeing right upper chest. Just beneath the collarbone, there's a patch of really tight energy that's sitting there, and it's sending out to different areas of the body. Like it's almost like these strands of energy running out, creating kind of pain sensations potentially, or just it's like this. If you imagine a string that's like striated, you know, there's like all these different pieces hanging off of it. That's what it looks like. It's like this kind of, the word that's coming in is ratty, a ratty looking string, and it's running out and it's like plugging in. There's one that's plugging into the left chest just above the breast, one that's plugging in just below, like in the ribs there, and then another one. These are the 3 main ones I'm seeing that's on the rib, like the bone that runs down kind of in an angle on that left side there, right inside there. And so I see these 3 points plugging in, and what I'm hearing, this energy that's in that patch and then sending out to those points is, it's a combination of be careful and there's shame energy as well. And the be careful energy is all around not getting unwanted attention. It's like keeping yourself back, not being too bold and out there and bright, and not getting, so that you're not getting that unwanted attention. And then there's the shame energy of feeling like I just want to be me, I want to be that bright light. And then the shame that comes with that because it's frowned upon. I see it coming from mom figure. I just want to see is that, it's maternal timeline, 4 generations back. So you're going to want to clear that pattern from the maternal timeline where it's not safe, or it could be dangerous to really be in that full light of you, and really do a focus on clearing that patch on the right side and also those 3 points as well.
Okay, thank you. Let's go. There's some questions on all right, we've got Willow Pillow on our YouTube channel, on our chat line. Willow Pillow would like to know the percentage of her heart-lung desynchronization.
Okay, so it's 18%. And where I'm seeing that affect the body is the tailbone. There's a lack of stability in the body, and it's like this sense of feeling kind of wobbly and not being able to trust the strength and the stability of the body that's happening as a result. The energy that I see sitting in the tailbone is fear. It's like this desire to run away, like to run and hide. In order to stay safe. So that's the energy to work with clearing so that you can stand your ground. Those are the words that come in, is like stand your ground, stay strong in your physical container, and know when it's appropriate to go, okay, I'm going to excuse myself from this situation rather than just that gut reaction of, oh no, I got to cut and run. What I see is that there are things that could be being missed out of that fear and that running away pattern. That doesn't necessarily have to be a physical running away. It can be the energy going, that's not safe and running away. Some of it, that's not safe. Sometimes when we have a really big positive energy coming in, or a really big energy that's coming in that's supportive, it looks like it's scary because it's so big. And so that can trigger that fear response, but it's actually a supportive energy coming in. So it's just about allowing that discernment to open up in that space. So as you release that fear from the tailbone, it's going to allow that energy to move more fully through your body, that bigger energy that wants to come in. It's going to allow you to be available to that, and also to open that heart and chest space instead of having it like it's kind of closed in when that fear response kicks in. Going to allow you to be open and be discerning of what you want to choose to call in.
Okay, thank you. All right, Willow Pillow, let us know if that makes resonance with you, if that makes sense. Okay, Melissa on our Q&A says, I have the oddest thing going on. I keep smelling exhaust, like from a car, and it is getting worse since we did the process. Even my breathing is getting labored, and my nose is closing up, and I feel hot and nauseous. Wow, can you please see what's going on? That's Melissa in Michigan.
Okay. I keep hearing the words old memory, and when I scan for it, I hear past life. There's it's a combination of sadness and fear that's coming up from a past life to be released. So you want to let that energy be released. When we run these higher energies through the body, anything that doesn't match that is going to start to surface to be cleared, because it's not vibrating with that. It can't exist in the same space. So what's happening, there's this old trauma memory, and it has something to do with that exhaust is what I'm seeing, past life. And so really working with clearing, I'm seeing 12 past lives ago, clearing intense fear and shock is what I'm seeing as the energy in that. So clearing that intense fear and shock from that point in the timeline, allow that to start to release. Then also there's a lot of energy associated with that that's stuffed in the sinuses, and there's a ball of energy behind behind the upper nose space that's also associated with that trauma. And so clearing there's fear that it might happen again, or fear that some annihilation might happen again, and it's causing this panic response in the body. So releasing the anxiety associated with that. So the fear of annihilation, in the past life, it looks like there was a witnessing of that. And so even in the witnessing, our brain can't really distinguish between what's real and vividly imagined. So when that witnessing occurs, it almost looks like as if your body took on that it felt that was happening to you. So you're really going to want to clear that anxiety and fear energy that's in the nervous system as well.
Okay. Speaking of fear and anxiety, there is This is pretty common. I think that our group is feeling this, and as we were mentioning, it is this fear coming up, not only in the collective, but also in members of our community. We're each feeling it. And so Lucy actually would like you to work with her on fear around death because of the coronavirus. So anyone who is experiencing a fear there, please, that works with them as well. But Lucy says she has low immunity. She says, I think there's fear because I think I have low immunity. It almost paralyzes me. Can you please help with this?
Right. Well, here's the thing. Whenever something happens in our environment, we have to work with the things that we do have control over. So somebody at the physical level who has a low immunity, and I've experienced this with family members, so, I can speak, I know it can be a terrifying thing. Even if it's not you that has the low immunity, even if it's somebody who's witnessing the person they care about having that, any flu or virus or anything can feel very terrifying. So what you want to start to work with is what is it within you that can allow you to really feel into the emotions that you're choosing. So the first question with that is really, what is it that you want to experience around this? Do you want a sense of peace? Do you want a sense of feeling like no matter what, I'm okay? What is it? That's where you have to start with anything. What is it that I want to experience within my body? What is that emotion? What is the energy that I want to feel? And as you identify that, then you've got to look at, okay, well, what are the emotions or energies that are preventing me from establishing that as my foundation? Doesn't mean that you're not going to have waves of fear moving through or something like that. That's okay. But what is my foundation? What is my center point? What is my grounded energy that I want to choose? And so let's just take an example. Let's say it's being at peace and harmony within the body and being in trust of my body, or being in trust of my ability to navigate what's occurring. So if it's that trust and that peace and that harmony, then you would look in and see. Now, specifically, you said it was Lucy, correct? Is that her name, Lucy?
Yes, that's Lucy. Okay. Yes.
So for Lucy, what I was seeing right away, Loren, when you started to read for Lucy's question, is that what's happening is your whole body is going into a panic. The breath is shortening, getting really short breaths, and there's a panic response in the body. Yours is linked to past life, and a sense of being kind of closed in. There's I'm seeing you being closed into a corner and not being afraid to come out, not wanting to come out, which, that makes sense that would be a pattern that would be showing up in relation to this, and this would be triggering that. I hear that's 8 past lives ago, so you're going to want to clear the memory of that so that you're not amplifying the energy of fear that's coming in now, right? So that you're just feeling the emotion that's coming in now, but not the amplification of that because of this past life energy that's being held in the fields for you. So that's the first piece, is you're going to want to work with clearing that. But then you also are going to want to create a practical response when that fear starts to kick in. How are you going to use the breath? What I keep saying is bringing the attention to the breath. Slow the breath down, especially the exhale. Take a breath in, slow the exhales down. That's going to calm the nervous system. When you calm the nervous system, then your mind can open a little bit and you can start to get a perspective. Is there an action I need to take to protect myself in this situation? Or, whatever that might need to be. But you've got to get to that space in the body where you can have that clarity. And that's going to come from starting with the clearing in the past life, and also working with the breath and really releasing any anxiety that you're holding in your body that's not a current present emotion moving through. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We really hope that helps Lucy. Kelly in Austin feels the same thing. This is really interesting. Not the same thing. It's different. Here's what Kelly has to say. I'm feeling so heavy right now, especially in the throat and chest. I'm not sure if it's picking up all the energy right now as an empath, or if there's more I should know. I walk in places, can't breathe, feel the fear, cough, vomit. Thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, well, this is a little different, at least from what I'm seeing. I mean, there's similar symptoms. But what I'm seeing is that what's happening is your inner gifts are wanting to come forward and they're wanting to activate, but your fear response, you're afraid, there's a fear of those awakening within you. So that's what the physical response is. It's kicking in like, no, I'm not ready. That's the energy that's really coming in. I'm not ready to really open up to what's wanting to awaken within me. And so that's where your focus is going to be for the clearing. Again, you can still, again, slowing the breath and allowing that to happen, but really you want to look at that fear response. And so that I'm not ready, it's from the maternal timeline and 9 generations back, and there's a pattern of, it's like all the external criteria have to be met. Like there's this whole big long list of criteria that have to be met before you can be ready to move on to the next thing. And what I see for your list, for your gifts and all that spiritual opening that's wanting to happen, it's like this crazy long list, like just really long, like it keeps going and going and going. I'm not necessarily seeing specifically anything on it, but it's just going and going and going and going. It's like almost like you would never be ready. So it's like, are you ready, willing, and able to release that list and really just step into, okay, what do I need to shift right now to take myself one step closer to being ready to really open? So working with the breath, doing the clearing on that sense of not feeling ready to really open to the light that's wanting to come in. That's another piece. When the light wants to come in and we have resistance, we start to have symptoms, and I can give you a great example of this at the physical level. A couple weekends ago, I went snowboarding with my daughters, and I took a fall. I just kind of caught on one of the turns that I was going down and took a bit of a fall. And when I first fell, I just kind of fell forward a little bit, landed on caught myself with my hands. No big deal, wasn't a big thing. A couple days later, all of this tension kind of set in, and it was in my neck and my upper back. And for me, that's the place where I tend to hold any kind of resistance or restriction in my body. It's where I hold my stress. And so that's where the impact of that fall came into my physical body and started to be reflected. Similarly, when our bodies are wanting to open up to light, when we have those places of resistance in the physical body, they're what's blocking that flow of light coming in. That's going to be highlighted because your body's now going, okay, there's resistance here that needs to be resolved. And so that's where you start to look in and what is the emotion? What is the energy? What's that resistance? What's beneath that? And am I ready to let that go? When you're ready to let that go and then clear the emotions around that, that's going to open that space up to allow that light to come in, and the physical symptoms can then easily resolve.
Okay, thank you. We now, let's see, Arlene, she says, I have an issue with my heart rhythm, too fast between beats, and had some difficulty in the meditation connecting heartbeat with the rest of the body. Can you say how this impacts me? And also, are you aware how the EMFs or 5G frequencies are affecting the heart? I know a cell tower really affected me when it was erected. I had to leave work as it was erected half-mile from my office. That's from Arlene.
Okay, so I'm always looking at what's happening in the body and what needs to be resolved so that you can protect yourself from any outside influence, and also so that you can really run your light through. When you're running your light through your body, that's the best form of protection you have for yourself. So I don't necessarily 5G, realistically, I don't see it as being a good influence for anybody. I see it affecting all different parts of the body. But at the same time, I don't like to go too deep into that, because if it's there and there's no capacity for you to go take that out right away, we want to look at what can you do to support yourself, right, in the presence of that. So with that in mind, just kind of tuning in here, I want to see with the heartbeat. There's a sense of not getting it right. Okay, so for you, the synchronization within the body may look different than it's going to look for somebody else. In fact, that's always true. We all have our own beat and our own vibration. And so you want to look at, what is my way of harmonizing my body? You know, how is my heart and my body harmonizing together? And is it different from someone else? It might be, but you want to be in tune to what's my way. What's the way that really works for me, that brings the calm to my body? So you're not necessarily looking at, I have to do the process correct. You're looking at, what's the outcome I want to create and how is that showing up for me? And you go, okay, when I do this part of the activation, this feels really good. This fits. This part, this isn't working as well. So I'm not going to visualize or imagine or connect in with that piece of it. I'm going to do the part that makes my body feel harmonious. That need to get it right, that's what you want to look at clearing, or have to do it the way that everybody else does it, that kind of pattern. Those are going hand in hand for you. That's a past life origin. It's 11 past lives to go. And just trying to see if there's any insight. I'm being shown an image, so I'm just making sense. What I saw was two little girls playing, and what I saw was the one little girl trying to match the other girl and do things the exact same way, like wanting to be like Big Sister, be just like her because Big Sister's so great. So really clearing that energy of the way that she's doing it, and that could be the she here is reflective of anyone in the environment. The way that they're doing it is so great, which means the way I'm doing it's wrong. There's a correlation that's been created there. So clearing that from that point on the timeline and allowing yourself to open up to, that's their way, what's my way? What's my way of doing something and creating the outcome that's really effective and expansive and amazing, that may be different from the way everyone else is doing it. The other piece, coming back to the 5G, what I see is really doing some strengthening of the auric field, you know, really practicing. One of the things I like to do is imagining white crystalline light energy emanating from the heart and expanding all the way out, surrounding the body, surrounding the auric field, and then just beyond the auric field, and really holding you in that vibration of your own energy so that there's kind of a buffer to those invasive energies even coming close to you. So really just expanding that out and allowing that to strengthen. So that's one thing. You know, when I do the sessions with people, I'm always looking deeper at where are the vulnerabilities in your auric field and helping to bring in what we need to do and shift what needs to be shifted to strengthen the auric field as well. It's really important for protection, especially as an empath. So, you know, that's something, if you know how to do that work with the auric field, you can do that as well.
Oh, you're so great. Scotty says you're awesome, and he's so much now he can refocus and ground himself. All right, beautiful. And Lucy, we heard from Lucy who said that. Thank you so much. That really helped.
Oh, good.
Beautiful. Okay, and before we let you go, just a couple more. Over on our YouTube channel, Tanya Deeds would like to also know her percentage of heart and lungs that are desynchronized and what's the primary impact.
So checking in, Tanya. I'm getting 24% desynchronized. What I see for you is in the heart, it's almost like a torn heart. And what I mean by torn heart energy is that it's like, I want to go do this, but I really love this person and I want to go do the thing that they want to do. And it's like this feeling of being kind of pulled into, right? Like, I want to do this thing, but then I also want to do this thing. And it doesn't so much look like it's out of necessarily obligation to the person. It's like, because you genuinely care. And, you know, and you want them to be happy as well. So what you want to look at is that dynamic that's been created within you where it's like, it has to be a choice. Like either they have to be happy or I have to be happy. They have to be fulfilled or I have to be fulfilled. Really releasing that sense of we can't all have what we want, right? And this is a very collective belief, so this is really a good one to bring forward for everybody. It's like, where have you set the limitation of if I have, someone else has to go without? Okay, and we're seeing that playing out in a big way right now in the collective, where we see, people going in, grabbing all the things and other people not having what they need as a result. It's like, if I have, someone else has to do without. So that's the belief that you really want to look at. I want to see, Tanya, for you, where that originates. It's past life, 7 past lives ago. So you're going to want to work with doing some clearing around that, any kind of lack or limitation of resources, or I have to sacrifice what I want so that others can have what they want. Any of that kind of sacrifice energy, really doing a deeper clearing from the timeline and your body, and just really letting your heart open up to, different questions. What can happen here so that we can all have what we want? Or what's the solution that really allows us to both be fulfilled in this situation, but really start to play with the questions that you're asking so you can come up with greater possibilities and solutions as well. We're really clearing that heaviness and that energy of that sense of I have to choose. It's going to be really important.
Okay. Tanya, we hope that helps you. Please let us know how that was received. We heard from Willow Pillow, who said yes. All right, so thank you. Well, this has been really amazing. Amanda, you do amazing work. It is so thrilling to watch you and to see you peg it. You just zone right in. You are very skilled at what you do. We have Shay on YouTube saying, Amanda does amazing work. And so Shay will be our last reading. Please share the percentage of the heart-lung desynchronized and its impact on the body for Shay.
Okay, so for Shay, I'm getting 34%. And what I'm seeing is there's this hierarchy that's been established in the heart space. And it's putting a little pressure on the lungs too. And what I see is it's like the higher energies are seen as good. Those are favorable. Those are what I need to strive for. And then the lower energies, somehow the lower energies have been correlated with the lower body, that humanistic nature. And so this is really important too. And I really love that this is coming through, because so often we see pleasures, for example. Experiencing pleasure is like, we want it, but then there's this shame or this guilt around it. Or like, I shouldn't want for that. And like all these mixed signals that go on in the body, where we see the pleasures of the body as bad, or we see the desires, we paint the ego as this really bad, horrible thing. And it's not so much that we want to look at these energies as lower or bad per se. We want to look at what is the impact that these energies are having, and is that what I want to hold in my body? We really want to shift how we're looking at the body. Our body really is a sacred temple, and our heart really is this magical portal that can open us up to these amazing realms. But we want to run that energy through the lower body. So coming back to you, Shay, what we're looking at in that hierarchy, or that kind of separation, is really allowing you to open up to those different emotions that come through. Maybe things like anger, frustration, guilt, shame. Let them run through and examine, what does that emotion have as a message for me? It's trying to share something with me. What is that message that emotion has? And allowing yourself to get the message, and then you can release the emotion. We don't want to hold any of those emotions that aren't the vibratory match for what we are wanting to bring forward in our body, but we want to allow them to move through. We don't want to suppress either. And so that's what I'm seeing. It's that the suppression of the quote unquote lower or bad energies are being held in that lower body. And so even I would just recommend imagining for the initial release, and then I would go deeper beyond this, but for that initial release, I would just imagine, have a magnetic ball out in front of you that has, transmuting energy in it, and call those emotions and energies that you don't want to hold in your body into that, and really allow your body to have like a release. That's what I was kind of seeing for you specifically, Shay. So doing that, the origin of separating and seeing some energies as high, some as low, and the low ones aren't good, and you know, holding them in the body. Where I see that originating for you is past life. It's 10 past lives ago, and it's there was the good girl, bad girl dynamic setup, good boy, bad boy, right? It's like, if you do these things, you're a good girl, and then you'll be rewarded. If you do these things, you're a bad girl, and you'll be punished. That's the dynamic that's playing out. So that's what you really want to go deeper into releasing. That will help release that dynamic that's sitting within you of separation between upper body, lower body, and allow your lower body to really be open to the higher energies that are wanting to come more fully in. Okay, so it's not that you're not getting higher energies into your body, your lower body, and your whole body. It's just that there's so much more that wants to come in. So that's going to help you open up to that much greater flow.
Okay, Shay, we hope that helps. And we got a comment from Shay. So true, so true. All right, thank you. And she says, I received my message well.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Yes, so beautiful. Well, you have been listening to Amanda Hopkins, a clairvoyant and a medical intuitive, looking inside and seeing the energy flows and blockages and drilling down into the beliefs and the emotions and the cause of those energetic blocks. If you are feeling in heart resonance with Amanda and the teachings, you are invited to work with Amanda. And we invite you to check out her special offer. As we mentioned already, that is available for you. Many calls and ways to work closely with Amanda in your own life. We thank you for your evolution in your process, because as you do this for yourself, it actually changes the world and it changes the surroundings and your relationships with everyone. It really is important work, and Amanda is here to support you and your evolution. So thank you, everyone. And I want to thank you, Amanda, for this beautiful show and the information and the activation with the essence of ourself. I mean, I'm still feeling that. And it seems like every day with our world changing, and as places clamp down and close because of a virus that's going around, we are feeling the fear. So this was so comforting today, and I encourage people to come back to it and experience it again. These programs are here to support you, and again, we thank you for that. So as we say goodbye, Amanda, is there a message that you would offer us or anything else you'd like to share?
You know, I just really feeling in to the heart. There's so much. Our physical world can change so quickly, and sometimes when our surroundings or our circumstances and conditions start to shift, it can be very unsettling. It can feel very unsettling in the body. And the one thing that I know we always have choice in is how we want to respond. And sometimes it's easier said than done to go into the light and go into the heart in the space of that. But what I really invite is that as you're working deeper with the heart and lungs, you can really come into that space of compassion. Have compassion for yourself, having compassion for those around you who are in a fear response of some sort. And from that space of compassion, especially for self, it seems to be when I work with the heart, what I see most is that the last person we tend to extend compassion to is our own selves. Really bring that compassion in. Look at the little girl or the little boy within you and really start to go, what does this aspect of me need? You know, what does this soul, what does this heart really need to be at peace in this situation and to feel like, okay, I have that inner connection. What am I going to bring forth through that? I mean, our heart, our lungs, that whole area of the chest, this is really an incredibly powerful portal where we can allow the divine love and nurturing to pour through, to really nourish your whole body, all the cells, your mind, your soul. I mean, really just forming those deeper connections. And so allow yourself to have the compassion from that space. You can then connect in and really start to flow that greater sacred soul light through the space of the heart. You can use your breath to physically calm the body. And even if you find like you're going, man, my mind's still going crazy and my breath, it's not working, just be with yourself and be like, okay, this is the anxiety, the agitation. I'm going to allow it to process through, and I'm going to be okay that it's coming up and out, because that means that on the other side of that, there's a message. And so I'm going to let it come through, release it out, and then be present to what's coming through as that deeper heart connection. It will always clear, so just really let yourself be in that heart connection. Find the tools that support you doing that. Find the support that you need. Really connect in with that space of the heart, because when that magical flow of the heart is coming through, even if it's just the tiniest little trickle, it's going to support you in being able to feel into the deeper connection that you have, even in your own space, even, when things seem like they're going kind of wacky around you, you will feel that presence of your soul, that eternal nature of you that is ever present and always there available for you. And as you feel that more, that trickle will increase and that light will increase, and then you'll feel it more and more and more. And you'll know that in the face of whatever's going on around you, that you have that connection. And that's the power of the heart. From that space, there's just so much possibility and so much freedom that you can really bring forth into your body and being, and into your creations and into the collective as an offering. And so allow yourself to be that beautiful offering. Allow yourself to recognize where you already are, flowing that light into the grid and being just such a blessing here in the planet, for everybody. So from my heart to yours, thank you, Loren, so much for having me here. Thank you to all of you who are tuning in, who are listening, who are so committed and devoted to opening up to that sacred flow within you. Just so appreciate each and every one of you. I can see your beautiful hearts, and I thank you for being a light here today in this world.
Amanda Hopkins, thank you so much. As we were listening to you, our hearts were opening even further, the connection being made even deeper. Beautiful. We are feeling in flow and aligned, and we thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Beautiful, everyone, and thank you too. Now it is time to dance our way to the cosmic heart. And let's just get a little funky here and have some fun. Enjoy.
quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.